to Bless B World News and Entertainment. Intruing electricity supply to former Nigerian president's house cut off over unpaid 6 million naira bills. Here is the news in detail. The Kaduna Electricity Distribution Company on Wednesday cut off power supply to the residence of former Nigerian president, late Shehu Shagari's house on same road, Sokoto. This was due to unpaid of 6 million naira bills. Please, and members of the Nigerian First Democratically Electric President's Bill on deaf ears on the electricity works executed the disconnection. The Sokoto state government, according to report, had been paying the electricity bill of the late leader's house. A staff of the electricity company was reported by Daily Trust as saying the electricity was reconnected on Thursday after a disconnectment was made. The staff was, however, site played on who made the statement. The Sokoto State Governor for Energy, Alihu Maha, said he was in the meeting when contacted for comment on the development. The spokesman of the state branch of the electricity company, Malam Umar, also declined comment. Who bears the burden? The federal government is consequently employed or empowered to gather for the general well-being of former presidents of state. Their dispute as well as their farmers, contrary to belief in some quarters that this responsibility lies with the state of region of the ex-leaders. Investigations have shown that at least since 1990, the federal government, in line with Decree 32 of 1999, has been spending billions annually to cater for the upkeep of Nigeria's former leaders. In 2001, the decree became the remuneration of former president, head of former federal legislative houses, and Chief Justice of the Federation, and other ancillary matters. Daily Trust also reported that when the National Assembly further amended the law in 2008 and 2010, the Revenue Remuneration Association and Fiscal Commission was thereby mandated to fix the remunerations of the former leaders from time to time in line, consonant with economic reality on the ground. The Alignment and Fiscal Commission drawn its mandate from Section 70 and 80 of 4 of 1999 Constitution under the certain political, public, and judicial office holders' salaries, allowances, etc. in 2002 and in Amendment Act of 2008. One of the such leaders was former President Shehu Shagari, who died some years back. Government pays. Why it is unclear why isn't the families of the former leader failed to settle the electricity bill in their residence? Investigations, through speaking to a top federal government official who declined being named because he was not authorized to speak, realized that money might not be the problem, as Shagari's family has been receiving his entitlement even after his enemies or demons as provided by the law. The federal government is responsible for the upkeep of all former leaders. It is the law, and money is budgeted and realized for this purpose. Why the family can't settle their electricity bill is surprising. Sometimes must be wrong somewhere. The family receiving the approved entitlement as provided for by the law was when due, the top bureaucrat in Abuja said. The bureaucrat in Abuja said, when asked whether it is the responsibility of the state government where the former leaders hail from to cater for the former presidents and their families, the top official said that it was correct. The law is clear. It is the sole responsibility of the federal government. I quote, and the government is quoting that the responsibility, whatever the state does, is vulnerable. President, what is the law stipulated for the leadership by all standard is more than enough for them and their family, he said. Entitlement for Obasanjo, Atiku, Jonathan, others to cost Nigeria about 7.8 billion naira in 2001. Meanwhile, the main Nigerian prepared for a revenue shortage in 2001, with plans to borrow about a quarter of the year's budget expenditure, and the country will spend around 7.8 million naira on settlement, reference to allowances and other perquisites to the nation's former leaders. The details of the settled 2001 budget have shown. The planned 2001 spending is the second lowest amount that will be allocated to retired top government officials since 2017, when 5.9 billion naira was budgeted as gratuity for them. The money is a yearly ritual in the nation's budgetary cycle, and by the end of this year, it would have cost Nigeria about 68.8 million naira in 5 years. This year, of the total of 7.8 billion naira, former heads of state, president, and their prospective bosses will earn a combined settlement of 2.3 million naira. This is the same amount that has been approved for the former leaders since 2017, save 2018 when they got 7.3 million naira. The appropriation is in accordance with the Remuneration for the Former President Act, which offers a slew of luxuries which have been sorted by some, especially because any 10 Nigerians earn less than 377 naira per day, and the unemployment rate reached a record high as last year, and the country keeps struggling in diversifying this economy to show up its revenue base. As upkeep allowance, the Act mandates the monthly payment of 350,000 naira to former president and 250,000 to former vice president and chief of general staff, and this is subject to a review whenever there is an increase in the salary of the serving department and president. Nigeria has 14 presidents, prime ministers, and head of states, all men, including incumbent President Muhammadu Buhari since independence in 1960. Inclusive of Mr. Buhari, 7 of them are living: Yakubu Gowon, Abraham Babangida, Ernest Shagonwa, Abdullahim Abubakar, Olusegun Obasanjo, and Goodluck Jonathan. The deceased former heads are Tafawa Balewa, Olive Prime Minister, Nnamdi Azikiwe, First Ceremonial President, Johnson Ayuriwansi, First Ministry Head of State, Murtala Mohammed, Shehu Shagari, Sani Abacha, and Umaru Musa Yar'Adua. The nation has also had 14 vice presidents and deputy heads of states, again all men, including 2 different deputies under the Ibrahim Babangida military junta, Abitu Ukewa, 70, and Austinus Akemu, who died in 2011, aged 71. 7 of them are alive, including Olusegun Obasanjo and Goodluck Jonathan, who would later become president themselves. Others are Atiku Ukawa, Mr. Abacha's deputy Aladebo Diya, Atiku Abubakar, Nnamdi Sambo, and incumbent Yemi Osibanjo. The nation deceased former vice president, including Mr. Irorinsi's deputy Babafemi Ogundebo, Mr. Gowon's de facto deputy who died in 1991, Joseph Way Shehu Yar'Adua, who was Mr. Obasanjo's deputy in the latter's military stint. Nigerian first democratically elected Vice President Alex Ekwueme, Tunde Adegbon, Mr. Buhari's deputy as head of state, Augustinus Akimu, Mike Akibo, Nigeria's last military deputy head of state. Living president and their deputy are, at the expense of the federal government, entitled to at least 6 security details and personnel at well-furnished office and a 5-bedroom apartment in any location of their choice. Vehicle replacements are replaceable every 4 months. Vehicle replaceable, I beg your pardon, every 4 years. Diplomatic passport for life. Free medical treatment, which may be abroad where necessary for themselves and their immediate families. 30 days all expenses paid annual. Vacation within and outside Nigeria. The families of all deceased former presidents are meanwhile entitled an annual allowances of 1 million naira payable as 250,000 per quarter, while the families of deceased former deputies get about 750,000 per annual payable in sum of 185.50 per quarter. The allowances shall be applied for the upkeep of the spouse and education of the children of deceased former head of state and the deceased former vice president up to university level. The Act read, I quote, if the spouse of the deceased leader remarries, they stop getting the allowance. In the same vein, the nation's retired head of services and the permanent secretary will get a combined of 4.5 million, I beg your pardon, 4.5 billion as benefit this year. The exact amount that has been shared among them since 2019. This is an increase from the 7.6 billion the former officials got in 2018 and 2.6 billion in 2017. Also, for the 50-year running, retired heads of government, agencies, and bilaterals will share among themselves 1 billion as sovereign's benefits. Alright, these have been taken. I want you to subscribe for more update on this. But if one needs to say, as long as this information is concerned, 6 million as this accumulated bill over the years of what? About, I don't understand how this bill will be 6 million when his house isn't manufacturing. Meanwhile, good to know we spend billions of naira to cater to the needs of past presidents after they have squandered the economy. How can this be there's a mishmash somewhere? How can this be reconciled? Apart from the laws made for the welfare of Nigerians, past presidents and the head of state, electricity light to the residents of late Shehu Shagari should not be mentioned here. Shouldn't be a case anyways, because in equivalent to, it's not a contributor to the amount of money being paid to the account monthly, if not annual. But then this has got Nigerians talking. Please subscribe for more updates on this. Thank you and God bless.